So my parents just got new windows in, and hi, Mom. And the way that they did these windows is in a special way, where they leave in the existing frame of the older windows, and then they just put these newer kind of insulated glass panels and sliding sections right in. So they basically cut out the center of the old window and put new windows in. But what they don't do is, in my last video on insulating the mystery draft, I kind of showed you that in between the framing and a door or a window is a gap. And if that gap's not properly sealed, well, then you're letting a bunch of cold air in. So my parents got these new windows in. They cut out the center of the old windows and put the new windows in. New windows are nice and warm, but they didn't go back, pull the frame off of the existing window and insulate in between the framing and the old window. So although they spent big bucks on these new windows, it still leaves a critical flaw in the old window design, which is tons of cold air coming in through here. And I'm going to use my thermal camera to show you that. I just found something behind the drywall. So obviously I've taken apart the frame. I found something behind the drywall, and if I can get it out, you guys are going to find this hilarious. Can anybody guess what this is? That's right, guys. That's a bee's nest. That is a bee's nest in the window. Talk about not airtight, huh? Look at how big that is.
Is that where the bees come from?
Look at the size of that bee's nest. That's insane. You really, this is why if you're ever going to get this type of window installation, you really got to check in between the old frame and the studs. That's insane. There's clearly enough space for a bee to get in here, make a nest, and get out. That's insane.
Wonder if that's what's going on upstairs.
Maybe.
Because we get bees, just random bees in the bathroom all the time.
Really? Could very well be. Hi, Hollis. Okay, guys, so one thing I wanted to show you is if you can see that black fuzz on the edge right here, that's actually due to air movement coming through here. So I've been kind of back and forth on two projects today, but I sprayed some foam into the bottom of this. Probably going to spray a little bit more. And we got to clear this side out, cut it all the way to the top, spray foam down this, and yeah, that should fix this issue. But unfortunately, there are many windows in this house that this has to get done. But this is just one for today. And honestly, having air leak through here, you might not think it's a big issue because maybe you caulked around the edges. But when air is leaking in through here, there are cracks in the framing, and there's nothing to seal the drywall to the framing. So basically any cold air that's getting let into your wall cavity is going to leak to the floor, it's going to leak out the sides, it's going to leak out any outlets you have. So doing this detail might actually make your room much more comfortable, certainly more quiet, because now you don't have basically open air. And it's something to think about when you're paying for new windows. This isn't too much work. I've done this probably 5 times in the last month, and it might not be something you want to put on a contractor. They might charge you an extra 10 grand to do brand new windows when you yourself could just seal up the old ones. But, there's pros and cons to both. Clearly, the old window doesn't have any flashing in here, so that could be a potential issue. And, there's pros and cons that you need to weigh out. Let me finish this up. All right, it's all spray foamed all the way around, all the way up there on the top. Not this side, not enough room. I'm gonna check on this in a little bit, make sure the spray foam's not expanding too much. All right, so as you can see, back in the office here, but added some lights in Mom's office, some 5K recessed LEDs. But how's this window performing now?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Doing well, yeah. Yesterday was 77 in here while the heat was pumping upstairs. Now we have to have all the windows fixed.
Yeah. It makes a huge difference. I mean, underneath the trim, obviously there was that bee's nest and a huge gap and tons of cold air rushing in, and you guys saw the thermal image of that. So really, would you have requested this type of window install again, or would you have been like, can we get new ones?
If I were to do this again, I definitely would check again.
Yeah, because I mean, the no insulation around the old window basically renders the new window useless.
Yeah,
I mean,
it does.
it definitely helps to have, you know, new seals around the window, like right here, as well as this insulated pane is probably double the thickness of the old one, and it's filled with argon instead of just air, which helps for sure. But to really hit a home run, you really should do around the old window, or just get new windows, new construction windows installed.
I believe that is very accurate.
So now,
After this.
yeah, now what we're gonna have to do is go through the rest of the house and do it.
Right.
Oh, everything's warmer, right? But primarily the floor is a lot warmer.
Yes,
You said your feet
because
were
it was
warmer.
pouring in, and my feet were always freezing.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that's not an issue. Obviously cold air falls, but also, like I said earlier in the video, it's getting trapped behind this wall cavity and hitting the back of the drywall or the back of the sheathing or cement, and it's just going straight down and finding any cracks at the bottom and just coming out. Just this one penetration can cause you big issues and cost you a lot of money.
Right.
And that's, you know, nobody told you about that except for me. Your window installer would have never mentioned it, and they charged you tens of thousands of dollars for these new windows.
Yes.
I don't think that's good practice, guys. If you're installing windows and you want to warranty a job and be like, hey, our work is good, our windows are good, you should really tell the person you're installing, like, hey, if we don't do this one step, you're not going to see the full benefit of the window. Or even when you're selling a retrofit window, you should at least bring up the risk of it not fully performing. But no mention of it at all. That's just a bad look on your company. Glad you're enjoying it, Mom. Glad your feet are warm. And, well, I don't think we'll record it, but we're going to have to do the rest of the house. You know, when you're installing windows or asking for quotes, make sure you point this little problem out. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Down the Frame.